am so happy to be back with you all again for our second video of our emoji series. This week we are going to be learning about how God can comfort us when we are sad. And the story today is from John 11, 1 to 44, and it's about the death of Lazarus. Have you guys heard this story before? If you haven't, it's a really good one. Now, let's get into it. Now a certain man was ill, Lazarus of Bethany, the village of Mary and her sister Martha. It was Mary who anointed the Lord with ointment and wiped his feet with her hair, whose brother Lazarus was ill. So the sisters sent to him, saying, Lord, he whom you love is ill. But when Jesus heard it, he said, This illness does not lead to death. It is for the glory of God, so that the Son of God may be glorified through it. Now Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. So when he heard that Lazarus was ill, he stayed 2 days longer in the place where he was going. So we have our story here, and it starts with introducing a man named Lazarus. It says in the story here that Lazarus was really sick, and Lazarus' sister Mary told Jesus that he was ill. And Jesus said to them that this will not lead to death, but that God's glory may be shown through this illness. Let's read the next part of the story. After saying these things, he said to him, Our friend Lazarus has fallen asleep, but I go to awaken him. The disciples said to him, Lord, if he has fallen asleep, he will recover. Now Jesus had spoken of this death, but they thought that he meant taking rest in sleep. Then Jesus told them plainly, Lazarus has died, and for your sake I am glad that I was not there, so that you may believe. But let us go to him. So Thomas, called the twin, said to his fellow disciples, Let us also go, that we may die with him. So in this next part of the story, we see that Jesus' disciples told Jesus that Lazarus had fallen asleep. But what they do not know is that he had actually died. And this was obviously quite a tragic moment because Lazarus was one of their really good friends. Now when Jesus came, he found that Lazarus had already been in the tomb 4 days. Bethany was near Jerusalem, about 2 miles off, and many of the Jews had come to Martha and Mary to console them concerning their brother. So when Martha heard that Jesus was coming, she went and met him, but Mary remained seated in the house. Martha said to Jesus, Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. But even now I know that whatever you ask from God, God will give you. Jesus said to her, Your brother will rise again. Martha said to him, I know that he will rise again in the resurrection on the last day. But Jesus said to her, I am the resurrection and the life, and whoever believes in me, though he dies, yet he shall live. And everyone who lives and believes in me shall never die. Do you believe this? She said to him, Yes, Lord, I believe you are the Christ, the Son of God, who is coming into the world. And we see here that, of course, Mary and Martha were super sad to see that their brother died. They did not know what was ahead of them. And you guys heard how they had many people who came to console them during this time. But what Martha did not understand is that though Jesus was telling her that her brother was going to rise again, Martha thought he meant that it's when he gets to heaven one day. But what Jesus was saying here in the story is that he actually was going to physically rise again here on earth in just a few short days. We get to see more of the story unfold as we read on. Now when Mary came to where Jesus was and saw him, she fell at his feet, saying to him, Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. When Jesus saw her weeping, the Jews who had come with her also weeping, he was deeply moved in his spirit and greatly troubled. And he said, Where have you laid him? They said to him, Lord, come and see. Jesus wept. So the Jews said, See how he loved him? But some of them said, Could not he who opened the eyes of the blind man also have kept this man from dying? Now, we see that Mary and Martha bring Jesus to where they laid Lazarus to rest. And we see the shortest ever verse in the whole entire Bible, and that's the verse where it says, Jesus wept. You see, Lazarus was one of Jesus' friends, and it saddened him to see what had happened. But it had also saddened others because they knew what Jesus was capable of and blamed him for not keeping Lazarus alive. Even at the end of that verse, you guys hear how the Jews were asking Jesus, why did they not keep this man from dying? Let's see what happened next in this story. Then Jesus, deeply moved again, came to the tomb. It was a cave, and a stone lay against it. Jesus said, "Take away the stone, Martha." The sister of the dead man said to him, "Lord, by this time there will be an odor, for he has been dead for 4 days." Jesus said to her, "Did I not tell you that if you believed you would see the glory of God?" So they took away the stone, and Jesus lifted up his eyes and said, "Father, I thank you that you have heard me, and I knew that you always hear me. But I said this on account of the people standing around, that they may believe that you sent me." When he had said these things, he cried out with a loud voice, "Lazarus, come out!" The man who had died came out, his hands and feet bound with linen strips, and his face wrapped with a cloth. And Jesus said to them, "Unbind him and let him go." Wow, did you guys hear what just happened? Jesus literally raised Lazarus back to life. What a crazy ending to the story. It just shows you how capable and powerful Jesus is. Remember what our main point today is? It's God can comfort us when we're sad. You see, in this story, not only were Mary and Martha and the other Jewish people around were super sad, but guess what? Even Jesus was sad. He had real emotions and real life struggles that he went through too, just like everyone else. And I want you guys to remember today that God can comfort us when we're sad. Just like how in this story, Jesus was the source of comfort for Mary and Martha. Jesus even told them that he is the resurrection and the life, and that whoever believes in him will have eternal life. He was trying to tell Mary and Martha that their brother would indeed not stay dead, but that he would come back to life again through the power of Jesus. God can comfort us in the most darkest of times, and whenever you may feel sad, remember this story. Remember how Jesus is with you, like he was with Mary and Martha. Remember how Jesus comforted them, just like he can comfort you. Now, are you guys ready to see who won our McDonald's gift card today? Let's spin that wheel to find out.